The xenomorph, a twisted biomechanical beast that is the genetic apex of pure terror. It has acid for blood and it lives on pure killing instinct. The predator, a hulking warrior of the 𝒩𝒨g𝓽 race, raised from birth to hunt the most dangerous prey with complete mastery of advanced weaponry. Both are aliens, and both are owned by Fox. Well, I guess now they're 20th Century Studios, so it's only natural that they've crossed over in the past. Alien vs. Predator has been the subject of movies, comics, games, and power scaling debates for decades, and tonight they're going head-to-head once more, in more ways than one. That's right. Tonight we're not talking about who would win in a fight. That's old news. Who cares? I have a better question to ask. A cooler question. One that I know deep down we all want the answer to. Alien or Predator? Which one would you rather fuck? Today, we're letting our freak flags fly, and obviously, that's going to come with a laundry list of content warnings, especially concerning the xenomorph. So take a look at these on screen and see if any of these topics are a deal breaker for you, because now's your chance to get off the ride. Okay? Awesome, let's get started. Now, you might say, Violet, obviously, the alien is more fuckable. It's literally a penis. It's made for sex. Like, it barely deserves a spot on a Hear Me Out cake. And while I'm inclined to agree, we have to do things by the books. The Predator has his appeal, and even a literal sex demon can have huge marks against it, so I've drafted up some categories to compare them on. Both the Alien and the Predator will be graded on their overall anatomy, smoochability, genital situation, kink factor, and a final mystery category. For the sake of simplicity, in terms of appearance, we're talking a standard adult xenomorph and a standard adult 𝒩𝒩g𝓽. So no dog xenomorphs, no super predator, no alien queens, and no predaliens. The winner of the most rounds will officially be the #1 most fuckable. So let's stop wasting time and get to the good stuff. We're starting off by talking about overall anatomy, things like their general build and bodily fluids, because really where else can I talk about that? The alien is a lot slimmer, more lanky, lots of smooth, grabbable tubes in the back, plus that beautiful segmented tail. You just gotta mind the sharp bit. It basically looks like it's made of latex, which, if you have certain tastes, could be a big plus for you. Plus it has that massive brain. There's just one small problem. You can't really see its eyes through that head dome, so you can't lovingly lock eyes during missionary. Meanwhile, the Predator is huge. In a movie full of big, beefy men, he is the biggest and beefiest, and look at that little outfit. We got a cool mask, head-to-toe fishnets, and not much else. You can tell this guy gives great hugs. I mean, look at how much bigger he is than Arnold here. Even he has nice things to say.
Son of a motherfucker.
I will say, though, the mandibles and the beady eyes are kind of an acquired taste. In terms of bodily fluids, I have bad news, alien fans. Xenomorphs have acid for blood, and while that probably wouldn't come up for a more vanilla monster fucker, it could still be a problem if your xenomorph partner accidentally pricks their hand on something. That being said, their saliva? Completely safe. Predators seem to have bodily fluids that are just about the same as humans. The only thing really worth noting is that their blood is bright green and glows in the dark. So, if you like the idea of someone looking like the inside of a monster mini-golf after getting beat to shit, then I'm not gonna judge, but that's on you. Oh yeah, before I forget, let's get a fingernail check. Oh, yikes, never mind. So, before we wrap this category, I think it's worth talking about what these guys are visually meant to represent, because that factors into their sex appeal, or lack thereof. You see, xenomorphs are literal penis demons. Well, penis aliens, I guess, but you get the idea. A huge part of what makes them so scary is that they embody sexual violence down to the way they reproduce. It's baked into the design, but of course them being the personification of specifically non-consensual sex is understandably going to be a problem for a lot of people. That being said, there are also some unfortunate implications with the Predator's design as well. I mean, he belongs to a whole race of tribal hunters who wear loincloths and have built-in dreads. I can imagine that's going to be a huge turnoff for a lot of people. I do think it's worth noting that the farther along you get with Predator movies, the more this imagery is usually avoided by giving the Predators more armor or more conventional clothing. so that mitigates a lot of any potential ickiness and really ups the fuckability factor. There's just one last thing that I think seals the deal for this round. The alien is super smooth, and the ridges on its body are nice and rounded. You see this? Perfect spot for grinding on. Predators are covered in all these little quills and scales. It'd probably feel like humping a cheese grater. So this round goes to the alien. It's time to talk mouth parts, and I think there are some interesting cases to be made for both sides. The Predator doesn't have a lot going for him at first glance, I can't lie. Those mandibles are just getting in the way of everything, and he doesn't even really have lips, which kinda sucks.
Okay, pussy face. It's your move.
But hey, look at that cute little forked tongue. Imagine what he could do with that. Unfortunately, it'd be hard to enjoy, with my face being constantly poked by those outer jaws. But they at least seem to open up enough to make kissing at least kinda possible. There's fan art out there, well-drawn fan art, but none of it really convinces me that it'd be a good time. On the flip side, the alien's double mouth is classic, and all that drool will keep things nice and lubricated, but it's also a double-edged sword. Because here's the problem. The little mouth is the tongue, and it's all one big, mostly rigid structure. There's no way you're getting your own tongue around that thing, and even if it was extended for independent smooching, there's no tongue in there. Not only is Frenching gonna be difficult, if you have a pussy, this guy can't even eat you out. What does 𝒩𝒽 have to say about all this?
And then the tongue of the first alien was so like a, in a way not organic. It was a tube with these teeth in front. It was really not...
Very interesting insights from the sensei of monster fucking himself.
Very erotic.
So if that wasn't lame enough, neither of these guys can even give you hickeys. They just don't have the lips for it. If it's just a marking thing though, they could give you some crazy bite marks. I just don't think you could do the same for them. So after all that, who's really the most smoochable? Well, for my money, it's gotta be the Predator, but just barely. The Xenomorph's tongue situation is just that much of a bummer. So with that, the Predator gets his first win.
Inside me? What's inside me?
So first off, I'm no close-minded simpleton. I think sex takes many forms, and not all of them have to be about the naughty bits. But come on, we gotta talk about it. And to start, I'm gonna blow your tiny little mind. Because listen to this, what I'm about to say seems like a no-brainer, but I want you to really chew on it, okay? Okay. Face huggers are living sex organs. Yeah, no shit, right? But think about what that means. Cause you see, when I started thinking about what exactly sex with these guys would be like, it hit me that for all the sexually charged imagery they're associated with, aliens don't actually seem to have anything going on down there, or anywhere for that matter. They're just completely smooth. Despite how vaginal they look, I was quick to write off facehuggers as baby aliens, or maybe a separate species. But the more I think about it, the more that didn't really make sense to me. Because if I tell you to think of a baby xenomorph, what you're gonna picture is a chestburster, because that's what a chestburster is. So then, what is a facehugger? Well, it's made for the sole purpose of impregnating a host and then it immediately dies, and it's a walking vagina with a penis inside. So, I think it's safe to say that these are the genitals of a xenomorph that sort of live as a separate organism. You might think that's crazy, but it actually has some basis in reality. You see, some species of octopus basically have a special penis tentacle that can detach and operate on its own for insemination. Never in my life did I think I'd be googling detachable hectocaudalus for this video, but here we are. Looks like monster fuckery always comes back to tentacle porn. As a final note, a facehugger comes from a ball, and its sole instinct is to impregnate or die trying, so it'd probably be more accurate to say that they're cum that comes. How fascinating. I wonder if the alien could wear one as a strap. Wait, hold on. I'm getting some word from my earpiece. Giger drew porn of the alien. He just has a normal penis? Oh, okay. 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 So, you might think that the Predator's prize trophies were a complete mystery. After all, we don't really know what's under their clothes. They could be rocking the Ken doll crotch, but that's where you're wrong. You see, there exists an anatomically correct nude model of a yautja that was made for a deleted scene in Alien vs. Predator. I'm not so sure that Predatussi would fly on YouTube, so if you're curious, you'll just have to look it up for yourself, but it's definitely not a normal penis. It looks like there's some kind of sheath situation going on, so who knows, something phallic could come out of there. Or it could be a hole, who's to say? We just have the one image to go on. Okay, so we also have no real way to know what the girlies have going on, the cis ones anyway, but they do have boobs according to Hunting Grounds, so maybe we are dealing with a fairly standard penis and vagina situation. In any case, 𝒩𝒨 parts are a lot easier to wrap your head around. Well, technically you can imagine whatever you want for either of these guys' junk, but since Giger chose the coward's path, I'm gonna let the Predator win this round. Seriously, I thought my facehugger theory was kinda cool.
You want to know if someone fucked an alien?
So this is a pretty broad category, but we're basically covering the things that make these monsters uniquely sexy in context. For example, if the idea of being hunted through the woods by a big, strong hunter or huntress gets you hot and bothered, then you're probably on Team Predator. You also have to consider their high-tech weaponry. If their guns and knives look like that, imagine 𝒩𝒨's sex toys. The strap-ons have to go crazy, I just know it. Or like, imagine a duel to the death with a 𝒩𝒨 that takes a turn for the sexy. Their medical prowess and field dressing technique could also make for some good scenarios. Imagine a 𝒩𝒨 accidentally hurts you when you're unarmed and nurses you back to health with their advanced medicine. How intimate. So, aliens are obviously more alien than predators, but what does that actually mean? Well, for them it's a lot more physiological and psychosexual, I'd say. So, first of all, you have the alien as a personification of non-consent and sexual violence, and while that's understandably going to be a turn-off, or more likely a trigger for many, for those who are into CNC, emphasis on the first C, that's going to be a big point in favor of the xenomorph. There's also the weirder stuff, like all the potential ways that inner jaw could be used, or getting face-hugged. And the animalistic nature of the aliens could also lend itself to some kind of heat cycle scenario.
Very erotic.
And I can't say I relate, but xenomorphs also web up their victims for easy egg laying, so maybe there's something there that does it for you. Alien cocoon shibari, maybe? The world is your oyster, really. Also, think about all the things that tail can do. We've all seen the shower gif. You know the one. So this is a close one and probably the most subjective category, which is saying a lot, but for my money I have to give it to the alien. Listen, I just think the unknown variables make for greater possibilities, okay? Well, it's all tied up. It's about time to unveil the final category. Now we have to talk about something very important when it comes to sex with these monsters. Consent. We're ethical monster fuckers here. As I've been alluding to, consent is an absolutely necessary component of any sex, not just freaky monster sex. So that begs the question, can these guys consent? Okay, so the Predator is just a guy. 𝒩𝒨 can communicate, they have a social hierarchy, they can even speak English. Hell, humans and predators teamed up in Alien vs. Predator. How topical. So that's pretty open and shut to me. The Predator can consent. Bad news, Alien fans. There's no getting around this, really. Don't let their humanoid physique fool you. Aliens are more animal than person, for sure. Their exact level of intelligence is pretty ambiguous, especially in the first movie, but any successful attempt to communicate with a xenomorph is more akin to taming an animal than anything else. So what happens now? Well, if the alien is a feral animal, then that means it has to be. The one from Fortnite, duh. He can drive a car and play the guitar, so clearly this guy can consent. Xenomorph takes the round. So, after all that, I'd say the Predator is a very conventionally attractive monster. Close enough to humans, but with enough uniqueness to stand out as a truly sexy beast. But the alien is just so sleek and so slick. It's more monster than man with just enough familiarity, so I had to give it the win. And with that, I crown the Xenomorph as the #1 sexiest monster. Now, if you excuse me, we're gonna need some space.
Very erotic.
Thanks for watching and happy Halloween! Are you Team Alien or Team Predator? Let me know in the comments, and leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of my stuff. Oh, sorry. Gotta go.